Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to have you on board on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. Definitely, I want us to look at some of the things that are taking place in the country right now with regards to the state of the nation therein. And I'm here with Wakili Willis Otieno after such a long time. Wakili, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome to the Candid Talk.
Thank you very much.
Definitely our audience have been asking and requesting, where have you been these past few weeks?
We've been dealing with issues of governance and putting police to accountable.
Okay. Talking of which, of course, the last time we had a conversation here with you was way before the Nane protest. And then after that, of course, a lot of things happened with, especially with your party leader, Jimi Wanjigi, and Kenyans have been wondering, what is it that is really happening here? Because Jimi has had interviews, and of course, he's openly said there that he wants to become the president of this country. He's articulated some of the issues that are actually affecting this country here. Do you think that perhaps this is why he may be rubbing the wrong shoulders with the government of the day?
You know, Jimi has been doing his part of civic education, opening the eyes of the Kenyan people on what the problem is. And Kenyans are living that problem. They understand that the problem is the economy. Is the economy stupid? And what Jimi has done is explain to Kenyans where the problem of the economy is. He's the one person who has been consistent in talking about our debt problem and demonstrating to Kenyans how debt is choking them. It is strangling them out of life. And obviously, the powers that be, those who are benefiting from the Ponzi scheme, which is our public debt or public finance system, are not happy with it. And they will desire that Jimi keeps quiet and Kenyans don't get to know. So what Jimi has done is he has enlightened the people of Kenya on their problem, being the economy and how that economic problem is caused. That today, 80% of your revenue is going towards debt finance. You're only left with 20%. That is 20 shillings out of 100 to try to run government. You need 35 shillings to pay salaries. You need 30 shillings for operations. You need 15 shillings for counties at a minimum. This is something that Kenyan people have never known before. They've never known that you're supposed to only take loans for projects. And he has told you that they're taking loans, not for any project. They are taking loans without parliamentary approval. And then they come back to the Kenyan people to collect money, taxes, to pay for those odious debts, those loans which are illegal. And even if you go around the country, even for those that projects have been launched, and Morara Kebas has been doing a good job, now following up post the launch, what has been going on. So you expect those who have been caught, because Jimi has exposed them, he has caught them with their hands in the cookie jar. They will not be comfortable with it. Hence, you're seeing the high-handed nature of the state in responding to Jimi, raiding his house, trying to plant explosive devices on his residence, and assaulting his family, and bringing up trumped-up charges against his perceived associates. But those are the last tools of a dying regime. They have been exposed. The civic education has now injected. The Kenyan people are the wiser. They now know. They understand the problem. They understand William Ruto and his failures. And they have made up their minds that Ruto must go.
Okay. So, Wakili, two successive regimes here, the same person going through the same kind of troubles herein. What do you think would be the main bone of contention here? Because in as much as you're saying that your party leader talks about issues and exposes some of these things that the government is actually not doing the right way. But on the other end, the government is accusing him of certain things. And recently, of course, the recent aid, him being accused of maybe funding the recent demonstrations, the Nane ones. What do you make of all these allegations?
You know, on the question of funding the demonstrations, Jimi has publicly said when there was a public request for people to fund, support those who are illegally arrested by the police, those who are injured, those who've been killed, he made his donation And it's public information. He made it. He even offered to donate his blood for those who are still in hospital, until he was told that he's above 50. So he will not be eligible to donate blood. So his support for Gen Z and the right of Kenyans to peaceably assemble and to demonstrate, as captured in Article 37, is a right he recognizes. You may not like the message, but the right exists. So funding Gen Z is not something that Jimi will shy away from. He has made his support public. And if that be an offense, then they should not even waste their time to take him to court. They should tell him which facility, which prison to report to. And he will go there and serve his term if it's an offense. Because as far as I know it, funding Gen Z, supporting somebody in a demonstration, which is a constitutional right, is not an offense. Myself, I've offered legal aid to so many of the people who have been detained, who've been illegally arrested. I provide legal services to them in court. I've paid bail and stood bond, surety, for so many of those people. Most of them, I don't even know them. But I recognize their right to demonstrate peaceably and armed in recognition of the constitutional duty to defend and to uphold the Constitution. So if William Ruto want to criminalize the Constitution, he should say so. Then tell us which prisons to report to.
Are you therefore trying to agree that your party leader was part of those who are funding this particular protest?
But I've told even myself I fund it. I have funded many people in court. I've paid bail. I've attended. I've provided legal services, pro bono. That is funding.
So that is funding.
I have bought water. So what is wrong with that? It's not an offense. Why are you trying to make it appear as if it's an offense to facilitate someone when they're exercising their constitutional right? That happens every day. How many Kenyans funded? More than 1 million Kenyans made donations. More than 1 million Kenyans have offered prayers. More than 1 million Kenyans across the country have come out to exercise that right to demonstrate. So don't get into this space of the oppressor that you try to connote that to fund. It's an illegal thing. It's not an illegal thing. I'm actually proud to be called that I'm funded Gen Z, if that exists. If my legal support is called funding, I'll be proud, and if there's a badge of honor, I'll wear it proudly and say, yes, I'll do it. I'll even fund somebody who support William Ruto to go and demonstrate in support of William Ruto. Because their right to demonstrate is in the Constitution. I may not like the message, but I recognize the right of the individual to exercise the Article 37 right peaceably and armed, to demonstrate and to picket, and to cause inconveniences. That's the essence of demonstration. It can't be normal. So don't buy fear. Don't buy what the state tries to say, oh, funding, there's some clandestine movement. No. The support that Jimi has given, the support that I've given is public information. And we've done it publicly and proudly so. There is no other hidden funding that anybody is giving to Gen Z. These are Kenyans who have seen that the way things are going in this country is not the right way. And they're demanding for a better administration. So that administration should not try to gaslight you to think that you're doing something illegal or criminal. It's not. What is illegal is the abduction of the young men, the killing of the young men, the deployment of heavy police to throw tear gas canisters, to shoot live bullets, to cause disappearances, to kill and dump, to record the victims they've killed as accident victims, to deny accountability, to bring those policemen who have caused the deaths to account, for the police commanders who gave the illegal orders to continue being in office. That is what is illegal. And Kenyans need to demand for answers. Anybody who thinks that there's an illegality being committed in respect to the Gen Z riots, demonstrations, it's on the side of the state. Not a single Kenyan was killed by a civilian. All the Kenyans who've died so far have been killed in the hands of law enforcement officers. And the commanders of those units bear the command responsibility for the deaths that they've caused, for the abductions and the forced disappearances.
Okay, what do you make of the manner in which the government has actually tried to deal with dissenting voices at this particular time.
Of course, it's high-handed. It's high-handed. They're clueless. They do not recognize and respect the Constitution because their response has been to curtail the enjoyment of the fundamental rights in the Constitution. William Ruto thinks that the rights in the Constitution belongs to him and him alone, and only those who support him. Those rights belong to all Kenyans, and majority of Kenyans don't like him, and he needs to know that.
Okay.
And there's nothing he can do about it. They've withdrawn their sovereignty from him. They are exercising it directly, and he will still fail. You cannot rule a country by the gun if you purport to have come into office by the ballot.
Okay. So you tell me, Wakili, why do you believe that actually Jimi Wanjigi here, as he has put it before, is the right man to take this country back to its economic glory?
Because the problem of the country today is the economy. Tell me in the political space or in the leadership space, who else is discussing the economy like Jimi does? Go and watch him. His interviews are public records. He was on Citizen TV last week. He was on Lynn Ngugi show. He's been on Spice FM. Go and watch. What is his thinking?
But he's not been here.
He will come here.
Okay.
When you invite him to discuss the economy, he will come here.
He will come here.
And he will tell you what the problem of the country is.
And we want to do that.
And
as
the
well.
solution.
Okay.
The problem of the country as the economy, what has caused that economic problem, and he will tell you the solution, which he has done. And part of it, and he has said, is that you're paying odious debt. Somebody borrowed money in your name as Kenyans. The money didn't come into Kenya. You are now forced to collect money from your meager resources to pay for that debt.
Okay.
That is why there's no money here. Why? That's why everybody is broke. That's why you're feeling the economic pain. Government is broke. Government has to come to your pocket every morning to increase levies, charges, and taxes. They want money from you. Why? Because whatever they are collecting, they are spending 80% of it on debt finance, funding illegal debts. Who has said that? It's only Jimi. And he's told you how you can get out of that thing, Ponzi scheme. You cut it off. Who has said that? But if Kenyans think, or some Kenyans think, that they have a future with William Ruto, continue. Everybody else has given their template, what they stand for.
Okay.
Jimi has said, may I only stand for one thing called the economy. I want to make everybody a little king. Government should just be facilitating your process to become a king.
Okay. If that's the case, then Wakili, definitely Wanjigi here, Jimi Wanjigi here, your party leader, has got the template, or at least what he believes on how we can go about certain businesses in this country in order to make sure that our economy is restored. Then why is it so difficult to speak to the government and actually present these ideas? Because there are forums where people can actually engage and give their views on how to make the country better. Because at the end of the day, it's a better country that we want.
The same government that Kenyans gave their views on the finance bill, and they rejected the views of those Kenyans. The same government that in terms of the memorandum that was submitted to Parliament on the cabinet nominees, 83% of the submitted views said you reject these nominees, which was ignored. The problem is not Jimi Wanjigi. The problem is a tone-deaf government that does not listen. What makes you think they listen to this one if they cannot listen to the other Kenyans? Over 10,000 submitted views. And only they ignore 83% who are saying don't approve these ones for ABCD reasons. Now you think they listen to this because they are the problem. They are the cause of the problem. They will not solve it. They are the ones committing the fraud. When they go to borrow money illegally, and Jimi is telling them stop paying illegal debts, how will they listen? They don't listen. And we don't expect them to listen. So in that set of circumstances, the only option is for Kenyans to kick them out, vote them out. And we have an administration that is dealing with the problem that the people of Kenya are facing. And that problem, as I've said, is the economy. Tell me if life has become better since William Ruto became president, or has become worse. I said it on this show. What is guaranteed today is more painful than yesterday was. And tomorrow will be more painful than today, for as long as William Ruto is your president. That you can take to the bank. That is guaranteed. And there's nothing he can do. Whatever advice you give him, whatever ideas you give him, he will not change that template. That is him.
So is that why you people believe that the only way out of this is a total overhaul and making sure that this the government of the day is shown the door?
Tell me which other way, if they're the ones doing it. It's not Kioni or some other non-rescue person taking the debts. It's the same government, same administration. Yeah. They're the ones committing the illegality that every year forces them to come to your pocket to raid it. So there's no other way out. The only way out is for them to get out of office. They can resign, they can be removed, they can be voted out, but they have to get out of office. There's nothing we are doing here. We are wasting everybody's time, by the way.
On the other
In fact,
side,
we are just causing more pain to Kenyans.
On the other side, the government is saying, if at all you're seeing that our policies do not work and you've got better ideas that you want to present to Kenyans and make sure that that actually works for this country, then why don't you wait for 2027 and then come on board, let's face each other at the ballot, instead of trying to do all these things right now before 2027?
Because Article 37 provides for the right to demonstrate. Why are they interfering with the right to demonstrate? Why are they interfering with Article 1 right to exercise sovereignty directly? It's also in the same constitution. So, they should walk the talk. Don't tell us that you wait until 2027 and then when you start doing civic education on public finance, you send over 500 policemen to Jimi's residence from different units to harass him and his family. Why? What do you fear? Face him on the issue. Come to a debate. Discuss the economy with him. Give us your response to the economy. As we wait for that 2027 of yours. And we see how far it will go. They can't do it. They've lost the people. And they cannot recover the people. Kenyans don't have the patience. Because every day is pain. More pain, more deaths. More lost opportunities for our youth. Kenyans are now hopeless. In that state of hopelessness, where do our help come from? Only comes from someone who understands the problem and is proposing to you a solution. That problem. A solution that is in the hands of the people. Not one that suppresses people's voices.
So this time round, you're saying enough is enough and you believe that your party leader, Jimi Wanjigi, is the man to change this country.
Tell me any other person who has the same economic ideas like Jimi Wanjigi.
Well, we are here. Swahili husema langu jicho. Our eyes are on the ground, our eyes are focused, and we wish you people all the best, but then we're still waiting here to see what happens there. And by the way, what happened to his aide, all those people who were arrested during that particular moment in time?
Those young boys from Jacaranda who were arrested, they were charged in court for possessing explosives. Explosives which were planted by the police. And they are now out on bail. We will deal with the police in court. The beauty about all of this is that the police don't have their own courts. When you go to court, they're just like us. They also just have to prove what they're claiming. The power of the police is just when you're still in the police cell. Once you fear that, you overcome that fear. There's nothing they can do to you. What can they do? Why should you fear them? They are there to serve Kenyans.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's wait and see what takes place between now and then. But our eyes are still on the ground. We'll keep you updated with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place within this country and across the borders. In case you're watching us for the first time, definitely you have the chance to subscribe to our channel here and feel free to support us as well. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.